Hey everybody, Arthur here with another unboxing video. Today we have Diamond Select Toys Marvel Select Beta Ray Bill. As you can see, it comes in that typical Marvel Select style packaging. It's all massive and looks awesome. But let's go ahead and get Beta Ray Bill out of the package. Straight out of the packaging, Beta Ray Bill comes with his weapon of choice, Stormbreaker. It's casted in this gold plastic, looking really nice. Or it might be painted gold. I can't really tell. It just looks really clean. And we even got some strappage at the bottom, painted brown. So yeah, it looks like this is painted brown. This is casted in a gold plastic, and the gold actually looks really nice. Now, Diamond, isn't just going to give you normal Stormbreaker and call it good. They go all out with their Marvel Selects. We got ourselves a really massive effect piece of Stormbreaker being spun around, looking awesome. Paint on there, gold hue to give that effect, and just looks awesome. And we got the handle underneath, but a very cool and massive effect piece. Here we have an up-close look at Beta Ray Bill, and he is a chunky boy. The head sculpt looks awesome. It's got the teeth, got the tongue. The only thing that drew my eye, I'm not a fan of like the seam lines when they have a separate piece to attach, because you can really see that sort of sticks out, but it doesn't ruin the figure. It's like not a make it or break it for me, but you do have some of those seam lines on the corners of the mouth. But we got this giant hair piece out of the Spartan helmet, looking awesome. It's got some dry brushing, or airbrushing, should I say, going out. And at first I was like, man, this thing is crazy. They got it all wavy, and then the way this is set and how this waves, I'm like, is this piece crooked? But when I looked at it from the sides, no, it's straight. It's literally straight. So that's pretty impressive. But that thing's gonna stand out on a shelf for sure. We got this giant cape that's pinned in by these big old pieces right here, medallions, whatever you want to call them. The paint and airbrushing that's throughout the cape is phenomenal. The sculpt work is great. So it's a big old chunk of plastic. It is thick. It's not super pliable. So, but you can see it sort of shifts out of the way, as you're moving it around and all that good stuff. But the sculpt work in the chest, gold paint, looking great. Strapping has some sculpt in there. The big old belts. His arms looking good. A little bit of extra fleshy bits right there. But this looks really nice going into his gold gloves. The only thing that sort of bothers me a little bit, obviously you have to have the joints in there. And it's just weird though, that's like you got the blue, but you got this sort of skin, trying to match the skin tone piece going down in there, and that's on both the arms. So those are the two things that stuck out to me, was those, and then the mouth corners and stuff like that. But other than that, this thing is a gorgeous piece. Tons of sculpt work, tons of paint work. It's a big figure. It's a beefy figure, and with Marvel Selects, they don't mess around when it comes to their big beefy figures. Now let's go ahead and dive into Beta Ray Bill's articulation. Now the head will have some limitations because of the mohawk. So he can look pretty much up and down like so. He can look left and right. Tons of attitude in there. Arms on the hinge can go up and do the full T pose. Looking nice. He can go up that far. The shoulder pads do hit a little bit, and then going back, you'd have to really, you can get them, I guess you can go all the way around with it. Okay, it just has to go out. Just have to move the cape too. And his arms, no double jointed elbows. You get like this ratcheted bend in the elbow, and it does pivot at the elbow. So that makes up for like a bicep swivel not being there. And for being a single jointed, you're getting a nice angle. It's got the hinged wrist, rotation at the wrist, So, and those ratcheted elbows, they hold. They hold. They're not going to be something that's going to get loose. Like, they hold their position. We do have the cutout in the abs, the belt and harness sort of getting away a little bit, but you can get them leaning side to side. He can do the hula hoop motion, but there's not much leaning back. He can't really lean back or forward because on his chest he has that V. That V comes down to a point. So when you try to bend it forward a little bit, that V tip starts hitting the belt. So even if let's see if I push the belt forward. Yeah, you can get a little bit, but that V still stops it. So you're pretty much getting the shifting side to side, pivoting like so. Can't tell if there's a waist swivel up there because the belt. Actually, it looks like there might be. Let's see if I can. Nope, doesn't seem. Trying to see. Nope, does not. So I had to really look up in there because this big old WWF belt or WWE belt just like gets in the way. And then he could do the full splits like Van Damme. You shift the belt up. He could do full Van Damme. He's got thigh cuts, the upper area, single jointed knee, which works, but it pivots at the knee as well. And then we get the good old ankle bend and pivot. Beta Ray Bill's balance game is on point. I just have him running with his Stormbreaker up. He is balancing on the 1 foot. And I also noticed he has swivel down here as well. Here we have Beta Ray Bill wielding that massive spinning Stormbreaker effect piece, and it looks awesome. And what's even better is the fact that his wrist isn't floppy, his elbow's not floppy. It actually supports the weight of that big effect piece, and it has awesome shelf presence. I mean, this is really how I'm going to have him on display. I'll tweak his legs and his hand a little bit more, but I definitely got to have that effect piece displayed with this figure. Now it's time for some comparison. We got my Ultimate Thor for my Avengers shelf right here. I love that style. And I don't mind that Beta Ray Bill's a little bit hulking. I mean, I've seen him drawn where he's a little bit bulkier compared to Thor. I've seen him drawn very similar to the size of Thor. So it's just really preference at that point. And honestly, you know, when you compare it to what we've got from Marvel Legends, you know, it's scary. Like, this is what we had. This is what we're getting from Marvel Select. I mean, which one are you going to choose? When it comes to Diamond and their larger Marvel Select figures, they knock them out of the park. I mean, they are some solid releases. This Beta Ray Bill is a prime example of it. Yeah, I had my little nitpicks, but this figure is awesome. I have him sort of battling it out with Thor, and the figure has presence. You know, it's going to look great with figure photography. It's going to have great shelf presence. And when you display it with your other figures, it's definitely going to stand out. It is a gorgeous piece. Tons of sculpt work and paint work. And for the price, I mean, you can't really get a better value figure. This is a solid release from the Marvel Select team. And that sums up my unboxing and review of Marvel Select Beta Ray Bill. If you guys are enjoying my content, go ahead and hit that like button. New to my channel, subscribe. Helps the channel evolve and grow. And also hit the silver bell notification so you know when I go live for my state of the art every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, or when I post up a new video. And most importantly, I want you guys to have the best luck hunting. Keep on collecting. Have a beautiful day.